welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you send us, the stuff you're curious about, and we dig in.
Yeah, we pull out the most fascinating bits, the insights. It's kind of like getting the cheat sheet, right?
Exactly. You get to be seriously well-informed, find those aha moments, but without having to wade through, everything.
We know you're curious, you like learning quickly, getting the whole picture, and you appreciate a good surprise.
And that's definitely what we've got today.
Oh, yeah. Today, we're diving into the life of a Hollywood icon. Absolute legend status.
We're talking Evelyn Hugo. Our listener shared some great summaries, key excerpts really, from her tell-all biography.
Right, the one she dictated pretty late in life to this journalist, Monique Grant.
And it's packed. Ambition, secrets, Hollywood glamour, hidden truths. It's got it all.
It really does. I mean, Evelyn Hugo, her name was synonymous with stardom for decades, but her actual life, super private.
Totally locked down. But then in her late 70s, everyone close to her is gone, and she decides, okay, time to talk.
And she calls Monique Grant out of the blue.
Which is a whole mystery in itself that unfolds later. But what really hooked me immediately is the structure she chooses.
The 7 husbands.
Exactly. She doesn't just go chronologically. She tells her life story through the lens of her 7 marriages.
It's such a clever way to frame it, isn't it? Each marriage kind of anchors a different era.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you've got these present-day scenes with Monique hearing the story, asking questions, reacting. It weaves together really well.
And it signals right away that what the public saw, those glamorous marriages on magazine covers, that was probably just the surface.
Or maybe even like a deliberate performance.
Precisely. So we're looking at this classic Hollywood story, but with layers. Rags to riches, golden age glamour.
But also the hidden costs, the secrets she had to keep, unexpected relationships.
And the big one, the revelation of who she really loved.
Okay, so let's get into it. This isn't just luck. Evelyn's rise from, Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah, tough background. Her mother had acting dreams too, apparently, but never got there. Evelyn picked up that torch.
And she was smart, resourceful. That first marriage, Ernie Diaz.
Right, neighborhood guy, also wanted to get to Hollywood.
So she marries him, not really for love, but because he was her way out, her ticket to LA.
It tells you a lot about her ambition from the get-go.
Yeah.
And maybe about what it took to even get a foot in the door back then.
So she gets to Hollywood, starts making connections, meets Harry Cameron at Sunset Studios.
And remember that name, Harry Cameron? He's crucial. A lifelong friend.
Right. Shows loyalty matters to her underneath it all. But she also makes some, difficult choices to land roles. There's an incident with a producer.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It shows her determination, but also the kind of power dynamics she had to navigate. She understood the game.
And then she hits a wall. Her look, her Cuban heritage, it didn't fit the mold the studios wanted then. The blonde bombshell thing.
So what does she do? She completely reinvents herself.
Changes the hair, the accent, even changes her backstory. Crafts a whole new persona.
It's pretty stark thinking about the pressure.
Yeah.
Sacrifices involved just to get cast.
Total transformation for a role. And, it works. She gets famous.
But then the studio steps in again. Says she needs a public love life for the image.
So divorce from Ernie, and then these relationships with other actors, but they're not real.
Purely for publicity, just arranged by the studio. It starts feeling less like a life and more like a series of chess moves.
Yeah, played out in the gossip columns.
And then comes husband number 2, Don Adler, another actor, big star potential.
This one looks real at first. They marry, but it goes dark.
Very dark, physical abuse. And Evelyn's trapped, in a way.
How so?
Well, she struggles with it. There's maybe some feeling there, but also this intense pressure to hide the truth, protect the career, the image.
Over her own safety, it's chilling. Shows how isolating that level of fame could be.
Definitely. Maintaining the illusion becomes everything, even at enormous personal cost.
But then things shift. She's filming Little Women, and she meets another actress, Celia St. James.
Right. And initially it's like professional rivalry, a bit tense.
But it grows into this really deep friendship, and then, bam, everything explodes.
Yeah, a co-star outs Celia's orientation and reveals Don's cheating all at once.
In that moment, with that double betrayal, Evelyn seems to gain this sudden clarity about her own feelings for Celia.
There's this kiss. It's a huge turning point. Gives her the strength to finally leave Don.
But he retaliates, gets her blacklisted.
So just as she starts to connect with who she really is, romantically, her career, the thing she fought so hard for is suddenly on the line.
It must have taken incredible courage, in
Yeah.
that era especially.
Absolutely. And this brings us back to Monique in the present day, asking Evelyn the big question.
Who was the love of your life?
And Evelyn is crystal clear. Not Don, not Ernie, not any of the 7 husbands. It was Celia St. James.
Wow. That just reframes everything, doesn't it?
Completely. All those public marriages, the romances,
Yeah.
they were mostly a cover.
A performance. A necessary one, maybe, because society back then,
Well, same-sex love was condemned. Illegal, even.
the pressure must have been immense. Just think about it. To protect themselves, their careers, they had to build these elaborate fake lives. Marriages of convenience.
Sacrifices. It's staggering. Just to love who you loved.
So Evelyn's blacklisted. She needs a way back in. She takes a risk, stars in a French New Wave film.
Gets her noticed again.
Yeah.
But then, things get complicated with Celia. There's fear of exposure.
Which leads to husband number 3, Mick Riva, the rock star.
Okay, this one is wild. It's a whirlwind marriage, like super short, and it's entirely staged.
Totally. Orchestrated just to create a scandal, a distraction, because Evelyn thinks her relationship with Celia is about to be outed.
The audacity. The level of media manipulation, it's hard to believe.
But it has consequences. Evelyn gets pregnant during that brief time, has an abortion, and Celia, well, she feels betrayed, devastated.
Understandably, this crazy public stunt fractures their relationship. Celia leaves.
And they don't speak for 5 years? Wow, 5 years. That silence really shows the strain the secrecy put on them, doesn't it? The measures they took to protect themselves ended up hurting them deeply.
It raises that question, what's the real cost of living that kind of lie? Even if you feel you have to.
So Evelyn needs to keep working, keep the facade going. Husband number 4, Rex North, her co-star in Anna Karenina.
Another strategic move. Good for the movie's publicity. Seems like a mutually beneficial arrangement, not much emotion involved.
And when Rex falls for someone else, they don't just divorce quietly. They stage another scandal, a fake cheating plot.
This time with Harry Cameron stepping in as the supposed other man.
Her loyal friend Harry. And then, even more incredibly, Evelyn and Harry decide to actually get married. Husband number 5.
It's this intricate dance, isn't it? Trying to satisfy the studios, the public, while hiding the truth about Celia. And now Harry is part of this arrangement too.
It's like a whole constellation of secrets and performances. But Harry, he seems like a genuinely good friend, a partner in a way.
Definitely. It becomes this platonic partnership. He's a beard for her, she's likely one for him too, as we find out later. And they even have a daughter together, Connor.
Right, so it highlights these unconventional kinds of love and family that can form out of necessity. Deep affection, but not romantic.
Eventually, Evelyn and Celia do find their way back to each other.
Thank goodness.
And for a while, they manage to create this quiet life. Evelyn, Celia, Harry, and Harry's own partner, John. The sort of hidden family unit.
Built on secrets, but also real affection, it seems.
Yeah, but it's fragile. Evelyn films a particularly risque scene with a former co-star. Maybe Don.
I think it was Dawn, yeah. And it triggers Celia's insecurities. All the years of hiding, the fear, it boils over.
And they separate again, painfully. Just shows how that constant pressure, that fear of discovery, could poison things, even within their safe little world.
Tragedy keeps striking. Harry's partner, John, passes away.
Harry's devastated. And Evelyn, trying to help him cope, encourages him to work on a film project.
Which turns out to be a huge success. And the director, Max Sherrard.
Husband number 6. He tells Evelyn he's always admired her, proposes.
So she divorces Harry, marries Max. But it doesn't last.
No. She realizes pretty quickly that Max is in love with the image, with Evelyn Hugo the star, not the real person.
Another dead end. Another marriage that isn't about genuine connection. It just emphasizes how much she must have longed for that real acceptance.
Which she really only found with Celia.
Yeah.
It also shows how fame itself can be so isolating. Hard to be truly seen when you're an icon.
So finally, Evelyn and Celia reunite for good, ready to spend their last years together.
But time is running out. Celia gets sick, emphysema, I think.
They make plans, move to Spain, cherish the time left, but then another blow.
Harry Cameron, still grieving John, he's in a car accident.
And the other man in the car turns out to be Monique Grant's father, who she thought had died differently.
Evelyn, desperate to protect Harry from scandal, especially after John's death. She orchestrates a cover-up, makes it look like Harry wasn't responsible, maybe wasn't even there with him.
Which means Monique grew up believing a lie about her own father's death. A lie created by Evelyn.
The connection is just staggering. Suddenly, Evelyn's past isn't just history. It's directly tied to Monique's present.
It adds this whole other layer to why Evelyn chose Monique, why she's telling the story now, the weight of that secret.
Immense. And its impact on Monique, unknowingly, for all those years.
And then the final piece falls into place. Evelyn reveals she herself is dying. Breast cancer.
So her decision to tell the story now makes even more sense. It's her last act.
And there's the implication she plans to end her life on her own terms after the story is told.
Adding another layer of, well, tragedy and finality. The biography ends with Monique publishing the story, revealing Evelyn's truth.
Including, finally, publicly acknowledging her bisexuality and her great love for Celia.
So what a life, lived under intense scrutiny, always walking that tightrope between the public facade and the private reality.
It's just this incredible tapestry, isn't it? Ambition, strategy, love, loss, and this fierce determination to control her own narrative right to the very end.
Okay, so let's try and boil down the core takeaways here.
Right. First, definitely her calculated rise. Changing her name, her look, her background, all strategic.
Then the marriages. Complex, often just performances, tools for her career, or shields for her real life.
And central to that real life, the profound, enduring love for Celia St. James, kept hidden for decades.
The immense sacrifices that hiding demanded for her career, for Celia, for their safety.
Then that unexpected, very personal link to Monique's own family history revealed right at the end.
And finally, the circumstances around her death. Choosing to tell her story, planning her exit, making sure her truth came out.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? The lengths people go to for fame, for love.
And how society's pressures can force people into hiding who they truly are.
So a final thought for you listening. What parts of Evelyn's story really hit home for you? Why?
And does knowing about Celia, knowing who her great love was, change how you see all those other relationships, all those choices she made?
It's definitely a story that sticks with you. Lots to unpack.
Absolutely. A powerful look at ambition, secrets, and love against the odds.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.